Alright, so if you broke out your window, like I ended up having here, the first steps is going to be, if you're smart, unlike you're just going to get a new gasket. But the first steps, as I took, was scraping all of the broken glass off of the existing gasket. If you want to do it cheaply, if you're a little poor, you can do it this way. It genuinely took me like an hour, so I did that off camera because no one wants to watch that. And I got all the glass off, and then at that point, on the back of the door here, once you take this panel off, which is super simple, this is the panel here. All you're gonna have to do is literally grab it here and just peel it off slowly, and then undo all of these bolts. This bolt here is gonna have a clip on it, so make sure you keep that as well. And all of those are right here, and this is the clip that I'm talking about, because that clip actually holds onto your body panel there. Once you get all of those bolts undone, you can take the entire gasket out. It's going to have, so let me just set this down for a second. It's going to have like a caulk all along this. Scrape off as much of that as you can, but you will need to reapply that. And then once you get that done, you're ready to reattach your gasket to your window. And for the 10th gen Ford F-150s, these are like next to impossible to find, but luckily I found one on eBay for like 80 bucks. Came with 2 tubes of caulk there, and you're essentially just going to be reattaching your gasket to your window. So the obvious steps are going to be, you need to take that adhesive and apply it all along the edge of the window here. So you can create that seal from the gasket back to the window. And like I said, if you're smart about it, spend a little bit extra money, or maybe it might be the same. I don't really know. I'm figuring this out as I'm going. You can just buy the whole window with the gasket. That's what I tried to do. I couldn't find it. Maybe if you're lucky at a scrap yard, like I said, you should do that. Honestly, that's a smart way to go. And if that is the route that you go, like I said, the same thing. Just go to the scrap yard truck, pop this panel off, undo the screws, and the entire window will come out, and you can keep that and put that on your truck. But this is how we're doing it. So I now need to apply a bead around here and put the gasket on here. Wear gloves. This stuff is, I already got some on my hand, so that's going to be a pain, but you get that stuff on you, or anything, it's not coming off. It is insane to work with, nonetheless. So I don't have a stand. I only have one hand here, so I'm going to set you guys down for a minute and try to get this gasket stuck to the window, and then I will explain what to do from there. All right, so I just got done. This is kind of what your bead should look like along the edge. You should always put your gasket down on your window first to make sure that it's going to line up where you should put it. Another thing to look out for is, I tried using just a regular caulk gun. The adhesive is really, really thick. So if you have an electric caulk gun, it's going to save you a lot of time. That's what I ended up using here. And this was done in, maybe 10 seconds. First time using an electric caulk gun, came out way faster than I thought it did. So keep that in mind. Also, don't do this on your seats, but I am, because I'm not a professional. So I'm just going to do whatever I want. Important thing to note on this is you want to do as steady of a bead as possible, because any gaps in your bead, any thinner lines, is going to cause, like this here, I'll fix this a little bit, it could cause a weak spot, a leak, somewhere for your window to fail and possibly fall out. So make sure that you have a consistent bead, something somewhat like this. Don't look at this side. Something like this, roughly, is going to be your best option. So once again, only one hand. I'm now going to try to put that onto here and line it up appropriately. And hope everything goes well. Okay, so I took this is actually the tarp that I duct taped onto the actual window. I got this pressed down for the most part. As you can see, I've gotten more on me. My gloves are ruined. That's okay, because I got the seal pressed down, and I kind of smeared my finger on it because of the excess that came out. I want it to be sealed, and to really be on there appropriately. I'm gonna give this like 30 minutes to cure onto here. Just not. It's not gonna fully cure. It's gonna take about 24 or 48 hours for that to happen. But just so that I know this gasket is good and stuck on here. Oh, I just got more all over me. I'm gonna let this sit for 30 minutes or so. That would be a good idea for you to do as well. And then once I let that have its 30 minutes, we'll go ahead and move on to the next part. Okay, now that this has had what I'm regarding as an appropriate amount of time to go ahead and slap it back on there, the next step is going to be taking, where'd it go? Yeah, here it is. You need your glue again. And like I said, I'm using an electric gun because this stuff is incredibly thick. And I will, bear with me now. Okay. The next step is literally going to be just tracing a fine line along this just to seal it in there. And I might be able to do this with one hand, potentially. Just nothing crazy, just thick enough to do the job, but not so much. It's just gonna flood the whole indent here. All right, I kind of went too high on this one, so just gonna add an appropriate line, and that's good. All right, so release the tension on that. I do not want this stuff leaking all over the place. All right, so now, like I said, I've got all my bolts set aside there. The gasket's back in place on the window, and I mean, as you can see, it's holding to it, so that's good. Now, this is back in place. I'm now going to press it back in the window, and we should be good, and that should be it. So, once again, I only have one hand here, so I'm going to set you guys out again, and I'm going to stick this back in the window here. Just so this is a 10th gen, so it's important to remember the curvature, the shape, how this corner sticks out further. So that's how I know that that corner here is going to be the one that goes here. Just remember that when you're placing the window back in, the gasket and all. I probably should have said that earlier, but that's fine. You guys are smart. So I'm going to go ahead and set this back in the truck now. Okay, I got this sealed back in. Should be fine. I did get a little bit on the window, so I'm going to clean that off. But yeah, that looks somewhat okay. It's great. All right, so I cleaned up the edges where it was spilled on as best I can. Now that this is in, this is good. It's exactly how we need. It's flush. At this point, your window's fixed. All you're gonna have to do now is put your bolts back in. And remember the clip goes on this one here. So let me do that really quickly and I'll show you what it's supposed to look like. Okay, I just went through. I put all of the bolts back on where they go. I put the clip back, and the clip, these little prong pieces, it's like two little hooks like this, go on the outside, hook in. I'm sure you've seen it when you were taking it off, but all of these are back on, and when you torque these back down, I mean, they don't need to be stupid tight. Like, you could basically get these off with your fingers when they were already on. So just snug them in a little bit, and that's fine. I'm not going to put the body panel back in right now because I have to fix, you can see here, the door doesn't open, so I actually have to go in here and fix that, which will be another video. But I mean, at this point, let's drop my caulk. You're good. I mean, the window's back in, and there you go. You're done.